Uganda. The national aspiration is a transformed Ugandan society from a peasant to a modern prosperous country within 30 years. Industrialization is a key facet of that aspiration.
Our target is to reach middle income status by the year 2020. And we can only reach the middle income status by attracting foreign direct investment.
Uganda's industrialization will be anchored on agriculture, agro-processing, and value addition. Linking agriculture to industry is the strategy in which the economy will be transformed to deliver inclusive growth and development.
Uganda is an extremely resource-rich country with great potential to develop into Africa's top investment destination. It lies astride the equator and as such enjoys one of the best climatic conditions in Africa. Uganda is bordered by Kenya in the east, South Sudan in the north, the Democratic Republic of Congo in the west, Rwanda and Tanzania in the south. The regional market potential is in no doubt. For her long-term industrial and economic development agenda, Uganda has identified free economic zones as key strategic areas.
The Uganda Free Zones Authority is an institution that was created under the Free Zones Act in 2014. So this is a 3-year-old institution with the specific mandate to oversee or even spearhead the establishment, development, marketing, supervision and control of free zones in Uganda.
We have a target of creating 15 million jobs by the year 2020. And we can only do that when we have free zones, which are going to be run and operated by both domestic investors and foreign investors.
If we want to industrialize very fast, export a lot, and reach middle income very fast, we need those free zones.
The idea is to attract foreign direct investments that can come into Uganda, promote backward integration because they will be working with many of our people here.
Free zones are a class of economic zones that are designated areas in which companies are taxed lightly or not at all.
So to the extent that we have economic activity in free zones that increases our exports, then as a country, of course, our balance of trade will improve, and gradually that trickle down will ensure that our economy will improve.
The private sector is the major key player in the free zones development. This reduces the risks and burden on government resources. If well developed, economic zones in Uganda are set to be major opportunities for knowledge development, technology generation, adaptation, diffusion and innovation. Set up by an Act of Parliament, the Uganda Free Zones Authority is a body corporate under the supervision of the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development.
There's a legal environment, there's a clear institutional framework under which they'll be working.
It started operations on the 1st of September 2014. The agency is responsible for the establishment, development, management, marketing, maintenance, supervision and control of free zones and to provide for other related matters.
All these firms that are setting up, we ask them to be following the regulations that are governing the free zones. For example, they must be able to obey the thresholds for production. As far as free zones are concerned, 20% should be consumed by in the locality, and then 80% for export.
What we are trying to do is to categorically say that if you want to produce products which are specifically for export, mainly export, that's why we give you, in the free zone, we give you land, and we want to see that we emphasize as an incentive that those who want to export and they have the capacity, they're able to be given that.
They will be focused very much on export. We adopt a lot of codex standards, which are internationally accepted standards. So the companies that will work in the free zone will be expected to have these standards and to be producing things that meet those minimum requirements. That way, challenges on the quality of the products will be minimized.
The key targets of Uganda Free Zones Authority are to promote the development of 10 free zones, to license at least 100 operators, to facilitate the growth in actual investment to the tune of $1 billion, to increase export earnings by about $100 million. Uganda has proved to be a resilient and attractive investment destination on the African continent, with new opportunities emerging for both local and foreign developers and operators. The policy goal for setting up free zones is to transform the economy from the dominance of a low productivity agriculture sector to high productivity export-oriented manufacturing and industrialization. Developers and operators can also invest as enclave developers to provide necessary on-site infrastructure on designated export processing zones, or propose their own land to be designated as export processing zones for lease to other investors. Some developers and operators that are already taking advantage of this arrangement are Nilus Limited in Jinja.
The aim of Nilus is to offer more and more of the services, and hopefully, as I say, other companies other than UTS can bring their tobacco here, and this company, Nilus, can process currently up to around 30 million kilos of tobacco.
Arua Special Economic Zone Limited.
Arua has the potential to become a hub for the fisheries industry, because in developing this zone we have to find sectors that will connect this zone, connect the people of Arua and the people of West Nile to the international market.
Wagagai Limited in Wakiso.
But because we now have the free zone license, it means that we have more opportunities to grow, and we are definitely going to make sure that those benefits are going to be used to increase on growth at Wagagai.
Royal Van Zanten Limited in Mukono.
If we expand, we can use more labor. That will help the economy of Uganda, of course, because our biggest asset is the people. The people are reasonably trainable. We can train them, they get certain skills.
Jumbo Roses Limited in Wakiso.
The incentives that are coming along together with this new certification is quite very important, because it is part of the help, the support we need in order to grow more.
Yuga Rose Flower Limited in Wakiso.
With the free zones comes the opportunity to reinvest our profits. So when you give us the free zones license, it allows us to plow back what we would have paid as corporation tax back into growing the business.
And Uganda Wood Impacts Limited.
So our intention is to this unemployment, reduce unemployment, local people, giving jobs of local people, and stop import of furnitures from our country to Uganda will be a special wonder.
Uganda's free zones offer a strong regional market, greater global market access, and export competitiveness. Both local and foreign business enterprises are eligible to be licensed to develop and operate a free zone in Uganda. The government has provided for a comprehensive package of incentives for investors in the free zones, including, among other things, tax exemption, unrestricted remittances of profits, economies of scale resulting from well-planned zoning, and clustering of the business activities in free zones, serviced physical infrastructure facilities, to mention but a few.